Keeping up with our motto, let learning be a joy and teaching a pleasure. Here we are with the remote teaching and learning process to bridge the gap. Happy learning, students. Hello, students. I, Miss Radhika Yadav, teaching at Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College, here again with you, dealing with subject History of Standard 8, Chapter 2, Europe and India, Part 3. In the previous video, Part 2, we had covered the topic American War of Independence, Religious Reform Movement, Geographical Discoveries, Intellectual Revolution in Europe, and Revolution in Political Sphere. Now further topics we'll see in this video. Imperialism of British East India Company in India. There was competition among European countries for acquiring trade monopoly in India. Now monopoly is nothing but a single seller in the market. Since there is a single seller in the market, there is the trader, or if I say the seller, has a right to decide the price of the commodity or the product to be sold in the market. The British established British East India Company in 1600 AD to carry out trade in India. This company took permission from Emperor Jahangir and established its factory in Surat. The trade between India and England was carried out through this company. Struggle between English and French. England and France were rivals in the competition for trade in India. Due to this, there were 3 wars fought between them, which are known as Carnatic Wars. In the Third Carnatic War, England finally defeated France. Therefore, now there was no strong European competitor for British East Indian Company in India. Foundation of Rule of India Company in Bengal. The Bengal province was one of the most prosperous provinces in India. In 1756 AD, Siraj-ud-Daulah became the Nawab of Bengal. East India Company officers misused the trade concessions obtained from Mughal Emperor in Bengal province. The English built fortification around the factory at Kolkata without the permission of the Nawab. Hence, Siraj-ud-Daulah compared the factory at Kolkata. This created discontent in England. Robert Clive diplomatically bribed Mir Zafar, the commander-in-chief of the Nawab's army, and also he promised to make him the Nawab of Bengal. Nawab Siraj-ud-Daulah and the British troops met at Palasi in 1757 AD. But under the leadership of Mir Zafar, the Nawab's army made no move to actually join the battle, and hence Siraj-ud-Daulah was defeated. Mir Zafar became the Nawab of Bengal with the support of British, but later on he started protesting against the British, and hence his son-in-law Mir Qasim was made the Nawab. Mir Qasim tried to put restrictions on the illegal trade of British, and hence once again Mir Zafar was made the Nawab of Bengal. To restrict the activities of British in Bengal, Mir Qasim, Sahaj-ud-Daulah, the Nawab of Ayodhya, and Mughal Emperor Shah Alam formed an alliance and ran a campaign. In 1764 AD, the Battle of Buxar was fought in Bihar. After this battle, British East India Company got the right to collect the revenue from Bengal province as per the Treaty of Allahabad. Revenue is nothing but a kind of income, or if I say a kind of profit. In this manner, the foundation of British rule in India was laid in Bengal. Next we have British Mysore struggle. Hyder Ali from Mysore state rebelled and took control of Mysore. After the death of Hyder Ali, his son Tipu Sultan became the ruler of Mysore, and he tried his best to fight against the British. At the end, Tipu Sultan died in the battle at Srirangapatna in 1799. In this manner, the British took control of the Mysore territory. Next we have British control over Sindh. To strengthen the British power in India, the English turned their attention towards northwest frontier. They feared that Russia might attack India through Afghanistan, and hence the English started establishing their influence over Afghanistan. Now students, English here nothing but the British East India Company itself. It was also known as Honorable East India Company, or it was also known as English East India Company. So here English is nothing but the East India Company itself. This route towards Afghanistan went through Sindh. The British understood the importance of Sindh and hence captured it in 1843. Next we have fall of Sikh power. In the beginning of 19th century, the power in Punjab was in the hands of Ranjit Singh. After the death of Ranjit Singh, his minor son Duleep Singh came to the throne. On his behalf, the mother queen Zindan looked after the state affairs, but she couldn't keep control over the officers. Taking the advantage of this situation, the British bribed some of the Sikh Sardars. The Sikh community thought that the British will attack Punjab, and hence they launched an attack on the British. In the first Anglo-Sikh war, the Sikh were defeated, but still Duleep Singh remained on the throne. But the growing impact of British over Punjab was not acceptable to the Sikh. Mulraj, officer of Multan, revolted against the English. Thousands of Sikh soldiers participated in the war against the British. In the Second War, the Sikh had to face defeat again. In 1849, the British finally captured the entire region of Punjab. The Marathas were important strong rulers in India. How did the British strengthen their foundation of rule in India by defeating the Marathas? We'll study in the next chapter. Thank you, students. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, drop a like.